So let's watch this.
Welcome to this presentation on linearization. So here we consider a predator system where we have x dot equals x factorizing 3 minus x minus xy, and y dot equals y factorizing 1 minus y plus xy. So here we can see that x is the prey, that's y basically feeding on it, and y is the predator, because feeding on x gives a growth of the predator species y. So here, because it's a prey-predator system, x and y seem to be positive. So you're asked to interpret even further this system, and to find the critical points, linearize and sketch the face portrait, and then...
Okay. Okay. Ooh. So can I do this? I know how to linearize. So why am I interpret, find critical points, linearize, sketch the face portrait, discuss. Okay. So let's see. So you take the partial with respect to x. What you want is a so what we want is x, y equal, the xy dot equal, and you call this the Jacobian, and it has 4 partial of x with respect to x, partial x with respect to y. So okay, so partial of x with respect to x. So what do we have? We have 3x minus x squared minus xy. So partial with respect to x is 3 minus 2x minus y. Partial of x with respect to y is minus x. So then the partial of, okay, then the other one is y minus y squared plus xy. So, oh, this is x, and so y with respect to x is y y with respect to y is minus 1 minus 2y plus x. It's been a lot of years. Not that I really even... Well, okay, so we want to find the, I guess, the critical points where these equal 0. So, yikes. And then what we'll do is then we'll linearize about, okay, so equals xy. What are you doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I think we want, do we want us? Okay. So 3x minus x squared, if we divide by x, we get 3, that was x squared. Oh, what did I fucked it up? Hold on a second. Okay, so equals 0, equals 0. Okay, if we divide by x, we get, and if we divide by y, we get, so I'm just reversing this. Okay, so y is equal to, so this looks like y is equal to 3 minus x, y minus 1. So I think, okay, so what do we have? So Control R. So y equals 3 minus x. So that is a so at y equal 3x minus, so at x equals 0, it's 3, and it's going negative, slope minus 1. So it's going like this. And this other one is x positive. And at x equals 0, it's 1. So, what about 2? No. X equals 1. At x equals 1, that's a 2. At x equals 1, that's a 2. So, think we want the point at x equals 1, that's a 2. At x equals 1, that's a 2. So at the point 1, comma 2, let's see. So x1, that's minus 2. I'm sorry, it's 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Is equal to 2 minus. Okay, so it solves that. And let's see if it solves this. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. Okay, so it solves that and it solves that. So at the point 1 comma 2, we have a equilibrium. So we want to linearize around that point. And so we take f prime of, well, it's a vector, f prime of 1 comma 2. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so and we want a matrix. So 1 comma 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. Minus 2 is minus 1. Minus 1. And here we have 2. Minus 1 minus 4 is minus 5, plus 1 is minus 4. So if we were going to convert this into a linear system, that would be the A matrix. So what are the eigenvalues of the A matrix? Is that what we want to do? No, I did everything I know how to do. Hold on a second here. Okay, let's go to Wolfram Alpha and take the, oh, we better not lose that. Do we still remember how to find eigenvalues? I don't know. It can't be that hard. It's a 2 by 2. You want to try and find eigenvalues? Let's use Wolfram Alpha. I don't know how, I've never used this. Eigenvalues minus 1, 2, minus 4. Okay. Minus 2. Whoa. Okay. Do we want the eigenvectors? So, no, I forgot. So that means, so that means it's stable, I guess. Is that what that means? It's a stable equilibrium? Okay. Well, let's just watch the video. I've done enough.
did, you see from x equals to 0 that we can have either x equals to 0, if we factorize the x in both terms, and if x is not equal to 0, then we end up with y equals to 3 minus x. Okay? For the second part, we can also here if k equals to 0, factorize the y, and we get either y equals to 0, or we have that x is equal to y minus 1. Okay, so the critical point would be either these two entries. It would be, for example, x equals to 0, and this entry, which would give us y equals to 1. Or we would have y equals to 0, and then this entry would give us x equals to 3. And then the last combined case, where we have these two entries, which corresponds to 1 and 2. Okay, so let's look now at the stability of the linearization of the system around each one of these critical points. So what do we do to linearize the system? Very quickly, we need to compute the Jacobian around each critical point, and we're just going to get a table after to do that, where we basically have f, derivative of f around x, derivative of j around x, derivative of f around y, derivative of j around y, all this evaluated at the critical point. Okay? And this corresponds to basically linearizing our nonlinear system, because you see here that there are a lot of nonlinear systems, and studying the stability around the neighborhood of the critical point like if it was basically linear around there. This method has its limitations, and we'll discuss them later. So first I'm going to just here give you the results of computation that I did earlier, where basically you can repeat these computations, but I don't want to spend too much time on the algebra here. So we have 4 critical points. 0, 0, 0, 1, 3, 0, and 1 and 2. So this is going to just replace the values for the Jacobian. So here you compute basically derivative of f of x is equal to x, and you evaluate this at then the value 0, 0. And so that would give you 3, 0, 0, 1. For this case, same thing, we compute we have the expression for the Jacobian, we evaluate it at the critical point 0, 1. That gives us 2, 0, 1, minus 1. For this one, similarly, we evaluate the Jacobian at 3, 0. And we get this Jacobian value. And for this last critical point, we have this Jacobian value. So now, what's next? So, the Jacobian basically gives us the localized expression, the expression around the critical point to look at the system like if it was linear around it. So, from this point, we're back to the linear method we learned before. We need to compute the eigenvalues of the Jacobian around each critical point, and then determine the structure around each critical point of the that. And I'm not going to get into the details here, but basically the values of the eigenvectors would be important to give you, for example, the direction of the spiral, etc. But we will do that on the diagram as we go. So here at the 0, 0 point is an unstable node. So basically the solutions are going away from this point. You can basically continue parallel to this way of the unstable. As we add one predator, we would have an increase of.
I like that stuff in theory. Where did I? Minus 1, y equal 2. I did my derivative wrong, apparently. Partial y oh, it's not minus 1, it's positive 1. So 1 minus 4 is minus 3 plus 1 minus 2. Okay, well, lovely. Let's get God beat them up. I did pretty good for spur of the moment. I did not see that coming. You think physics girl is good at those? What do you think? She has a bachelor's, I think. Hey, actually, I should have watched the rest of the video. Oh well, so let's get God to talk about something. That's pretty cool. it's free.